King Von has quickly become a very popular name on the rap music scene. The Chicago native, known for his hardcore drill rap and his close association with superstar rapper Lil Durk, took the hip-hop world in a storm as he slowly but surely began his climb to fame. The Tooker to the old hitmaker had just started making major moves in the industry before he was killed in a shootout in Atlanta. There's been a lot of controversy surrounding the death of King Von, with a lot of people being blamed for either inciting or participating in the events that led to the rapper's death. In this video, we'll look at the death of King Von and find out who was responsible and what exactly happened. King Von's early life. Davon Daquan Bennett, professionally known as King Von, was born in Chicago. The rapper was born into a large family with 6 half-siblings on his father's side and 3 siblings from his mother's side. Growing up was pretty turbulent for young Davon. His father was consistently in and out of jail throughout his childhood, forcing young Von to fend for himself growing up. When he was 11, Davon's father was shot and killed. The effect of his father's death and his situation growing up had a major effect on the youngster. By the time King Von was 16, he went to jail for what would be his first time in a string of legal controversies. Legal issues. King Von had multiple issues with the law during the period of his life. His first encounter with the judicial system occurred in November 2021 when Davon was arrested and booked for his involvement in the unlawful possession of a firearm. The rapper remained fairly quiet and managed to stay out of trouble up until July 24th when he was arrested with King Von for a suspected connection in the shooting, which had occurred in May of the same year. Several men were killed in the incident and a number of others were injured. The prosecutors on the case charged King Von with 2 counts of attempted murder and 1 count of murder. Police disclosed that the shooting had taken place on 5700 South LaSalle Street in Inglewood. Fortunately for King Von, all of the charges were dropped as the police could not find any witnesses to testify about the event. The rapper spent quite a while in Cook County Jail while waiting for the charges brought against him to be dropped. In addition to the charges, there are a lot of rumors among fans about the rapper's role in the hit of Jakara K.I. Barnes. According to the rumors, a 4chan user hacked into the Twitter account of one of King Von's rivals. The hack allegedly revealed that the rapper was involved in the death of K.I. Some fans even believe that the rapper has mentioned this killing on a number of songs. In King Von's Exposing Me remix, the rapper says, "I swear I killed her, broke her back." In War With Us, King Von also says, "Put a pretty op in a morgue." The speculation surrounding King Von's involvement in the death of K.I. continued for a while. In July 2021, the Chicago police released documents that confirmed that King Von had indeed killed K.I. Davon had a pretty quiet spell until 2019 when he and Lil Durk were arrested in connection to a shooting that occurred in Atlanta. According to prosecutors, both men were suspected of robbing and shooting a man. The 2 rappers surrendered themselves to the police and spent several days in jail for the incident. Eventually, King Von and Lil Durk were released from prison on bond. In summary, King Von has had a pretty constant relationship with law enforcement. Beef with Quando Rondo. King Von was very involved in the streets, and this sometimes meant being involved in beef. A lot of fans have blamed the death of King Von on his beef with Quando Rondo. The beef between the 2 rappers started when King Von posted pictures of himself hanging out with YoungBoy NBA's ex-girlfriend, Jania, because Quando is signed to NBA YoungBoy. King Von, however, took to social media to say that he had no beef with NBA YoungBoy. The rapper said, "Ain't no rap beef and ain't no real beef unless somebody got shot or something." Fans believe that this statement was what incited the violence that later occurred. According to rumors, Quando Rondo and his crew felt that they needed to defend the honor of their mentor, YoungBoy NBA, despite King Von's claims that there was no beef. Since the death of King Von, Quando Rondo has come out publicly to explain his part of the story. According to Quando, King Von and his entourage walked past him as he was hanging outside his car. Quando claims that King Von threw an unprovoked punch at him, which prompted the entire fiasco. Quando had this to say about the incident. "I know dude just dropped a tape the week earlier. I was wondering, was they trying to do something to me to f my image up? Or like boost him up? Or like what? I don't have a clue at all. I never dealt with no female that he dealt with. I never said a curse word to this man. Our last conversation been cool, chilling, laughing, telling jokes. I never had a problem with them. That's why I don't understand, how can everybody be mad at me? How can everybody be mad at my brother, Lil Tim?" When asked what he felt about the incident in general, Quando explained he didn't feel like Lil Tim, aka Timothy Leaks, did what anyone would have done in the situation. Quando mentioned that if he were ever in Leaks' shoes and King Von had attacked NBA YoungBoy, he would have done the same thing. Quando also mentioned that the internet and fans coming at him and blaming him for what happened were not being honest, and that was why their opinions did not affect him at all. Despite the numerous rumors that linked the shooting incident with the beef between Quando Rondo and King Von, his girlfriend Asian Doll has maintained that the shooting had nothing to do with any sort of beef between the rapper and YoungBoy NBA or Quando Rondo. Asian Doll took to her Instagram to say this: "I got a song with YoungBoy. Von got a song with YoungBoy. Who the op? Only ops is you op people in our mother business." Back to my story. This talking about the ops. That ain't even his ops. Get your clown on. You don't even know what you talking about. That's how y'all know you just talking. Y'all just making up all this shit in y'all motherfucking head because that shit sounds good and that shit look good, but it ain't that. Asian Doll's allegations about the real reason why King Von was killed may very well be true. In an interview with DJ Academics that King Von spoke on the day before his death, the rapper said that the internet tends to pit rappers against each other. Nah, it's the internet, gang. They'll try to make it like that because it's the internet. You feel what I'm saying? While the claims made by King Von and his girlfriend may be true, there's always a possibility that all of this was set for the cameras. Beef with Tekashi 6ix9ine. King Von also had a number of issues with Tekashi 6ix9ine. The rapper was very vocal about the rapper's reported cooperation with law enforcement to prosecute gang members. The rapper took to his social media to express his disgust for what the rapper had to do to stay out of prison. It wasn't surprising that when the news of King Von's passing was made public, Tekashi responded by trolling his close friend Lil Durk with a laughing emoji. King Von's death. On November 6, 2020, King Von was shot and killed after what appears to be an altercation that occurred between him and a few other men. The rapper was killed by Timothy Leaks, also known as Lil Tim. Timothy Leaks is a known associate of Quando Rondo, who King Von had beef with prior to the incident. Lil Tim was formerly on his high school football team. Leaks allegedly killed King Von after an argument broke out between Quando Rondo's squad and King Von's. The incident left 3 people dead and 3 others wounded. Police arrested Lil Tim after reviewing CCTV footage of the incident, which showed that he was actually responsible for the death of King Von. Leaks, who is 22, currently faces charges of felony murder and may face life in prison. Timothy Leaks has had prior run-ins with the law. In August of 2020, Leaks was charged with attempting to violate the Georgia Controlled Substance Act and was arrested by the Savannah Police Department. Leaks was also charged with theft by receiving stolen property and obstruction of an investigation. When he was arrested, several guns were seized, along with 15 pounds of amounted to about $16,000. The rapper was arrested alongside 4 other people. During the shootout that led to King Von's death, Timothy Leaks himself was also shot. Leaks spent close to 2 weeks in police custody at the Grady Hospital, where he was being treated at the time. While in custody, Leaks reportedly applied for bond twice, but he was denied bond both times. He was eventually sent to Fulton County Jail. Since Timothy Leaks' arrest, Atlanta police have also found 2 other men who were involved in the incident. 21-year-old Johnny Harris and 23-year-old Kevin Jones have also been charged for their role in the incident. Harris was charged with possession of a firearm by a convicted felon and faces a parole violation charge as well. Jones will face 1 charge of aggravated assault. Other victims of the shooting included 28-year-old Brian Humphrey, 27-year-old Francois Jameson, Sada McHardy, and Mark Blakely, 34. The Atlanta police were also involved in the shootout, and there's no confirmation which of the victims may have been killed by the police, although it is sure that Leaks was responsible for the death of King Von. The video of the incident, which eventually made its way to the internet, showed a large group of people leaving the club. Punches are thrown in the video, and it is obvious that a scuffle has begun. The group eventually scatters as one man steps out of an SUV to begin shooting into the group. The footage shows several victims dropping down after being shot. A car is driven close to the scene, and one of the victims is loaded into the car and driven away from the scene. According to the police, King Von was driven away from the scene to a hospital where he eventually died from his injuries. Atlanta police had this to say about the incident. At this time, Our investigators believe Mr. Bennett was shot during the initial shootout between the two groups of males, prior to police responding and attempting to stop the shooting. Investigation into the incident has revealed that King Von and some of his friends belong to a faction of the Black Disciples called O-Block. Police are still unsure of the reason why a fight broke out or why it escalated to a shootout. The death of King Von is one of several tragic deaths in the hip-hop industry. While there may be no confirmed reasons for the altercation that led to the rapper's death, it does draw attention to the gang culture that is prevalent in young adults in the industry. Until we know for sure why, we can only wonder what really led to the death of King Von. That brings us to the end of today's video. If you liked the video, please leave a like and a comment below. Also, if you're new to the channel, subscribe and hit the notification bell to be notified when we upload new content.